Welcome back to the Dent Style News Network. This week we've got Argentinian-style bots, the death of two legends, a rage quit, lots of copium, and your garden variety horrible takes. Thanks for joining me on this awful adventure. Let's dive right in.
I'm doing my absolute best this week to get new volume levels for everything I'm doing, including every single game, which all are different, plus the React stuff. It's a little tricky because basically what's going on is with this microphone adjusted, okay? This basically makes it that now my volume being much louder overall in the content, I have to now readjust every single game. And I really wish that the games had a set volume level, but they just don't. Every single game still today is a different volume level.
So our boy ALT took it upon himself to gaslight Phil into fucking with his audio, and ever since he's been having problems, or at least perceiving problems, giving himself an aneurysm. Big ups ALT for that one. But his audio has always sucked, and there's always been a solution to it in the hardware that he's been using for 15 or 16 years, and it's called audio ducking, which either he outright doesn't know exists, or refuses to use because it'll take work.
Why don't you upload them in order? I don't get it. In any given day, let's say you play 3 to 5 hours of gameplay. And if it was supposed to be parts 20, 21, and 22, why is it that half the time it goes part 23 shows up first, then part 21, then part 22? Okay? The reason is very simple. YouTube. YouTube's processing has always been weird. You can upload 3 videos of exactly the same length. You can upload them in the order that you want them to show up on YouTube. You know, you could do all that. And then what happens? Boom, they just don't show up. Or they freeze. The last one, works first, and then, it goes in a random order. It's really stupid how YouTube operates. And I don't know why that is. I wish I did. But that's always been the case on YouTube. Now, what I always recommend to people, okay, is do not watch videos in the order that they publish on YouTube. If you're watching an ongoing playthrough, like let's say right now you're watching Baldur's Gate 3, don't just sit around today waiting for YouTube to have the videos go live and click on the ones that go live immediately.
So this guy, with nearly 16 years of experience, is telling you not to click the most recent uploads because he uploads them in bulk. This is not a quality method because, as we know, the internet moves along so quickly, and everyone watching the guy is watching him to essentially clip his stuff and make fun of him. There's only like a handful of dents that actually give a crap, and I don't know where a lot of those views come from unless there's a lot of detractors clipping the guy. So he's shooting himself in the foot here. He also doesn't seem to realize there's a way to solve this problem just by staggering the uploads, because you can set times for them to upload. I didn't know about this personally because I only do 1 video a week and I'm fairly new, but I was told by other detractors that that is a way you can work it in instead of having to manually sit around and wait for each one to finish. So there's a solution built into the software that he is using and has been using for 15 years, and he can't make it work.
For some odd reason, and to this day, people still don't know how to use playlists on YouTube. It baffles me.
I just added this little bit in because it was news to me that people don't know how to use playlists. I guess we're all just stupid, guys. Who would have thunk it?
And I hope that you guys, understand why I do it that way, because I want things to be professional. I want things to be in order.
Again, just a little thing I added in because he wants things to be professional, yet he is refusing to do the things that would make it professional or utilize the equipment and software that he has in order to make it so. This is astonishing.
Both shows, DSP versus the Internet and the Retro Reactive Heavy Rain, were really good. Right, Jasper? Right, buddy? I guess he didn't watch them.
Jasper is probably the luckiest cat on earth for not having witnessed that react. Atlas and I sat through it during a restream, and it was probably one of the worst ones yet. I think they're going to continue to get worse, so you should swing by and hang out with us every other Sunday.
There is no late stream tonight because this is the first in a series of weeks where I'm going to have to take at least 1 stream off a week to have personal stuff going on behind the scenes. I just need the time to do it, and I can't squeeze it in between my streams. I need to actually sit down and focus and concentrate. So
So I know he doesn't say here, but we all know what he's doing. He's filing his quarterly taxes, and this means that the tax arc has begun of 2024. As he is a registered business under the name Burnell Productions, located in Renton, Washington. There are plenty of reviews, please go check them out. We are going to be getting some very good begs. The back taxes are back, the save the house maybe, shit, who knows what we'll get. It's always a fun time when the taxes hit the guy.
First new game of this month, coming out around the middle of the month, is the Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront collection. I'm very interested in this because the classic Battlefront games were really, really good. And as long as they've done a proper conversion to modern consoles and they're claiming 64-player online play, it could be incredibly fun and chaotic. I think it's going to do really well.
So you know what this is, I know what this is. This is Battlefront gonna save the channel, and yeah, we all know how that goes. We've seen this cycle repeat itself numerous times. It's gonna flop eventually, if not immediately, and then only get boosted once in a while when the disability checks come in. Why does he keep doing this? I don't know.
The only game right now that I'm really probably not gonna play is Dragon's Dogma 2. Reason being, we're just playing too many RPGs. I can't play another RPG. No one's going to care already. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, if I wasn't already playing multiple RPGs, would be doing good right now. But I've been playing so many RPGs for so many months that people just don't care. They're burned out.
Little piece of nothing news here, and probably only something I care about because I'm a huge Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen fan, but he is putting DD2 in the trash bin. He's not playing it. Too many RPGs, he says, as he's been saying all week, and this is going to be a complaint we're going to continue to hear until he's out of whatever type of hellscape he put himself into with all these RPGs.
I am not other content creators. I am someone who cannot get new viewers because the new viewers, first thing they see about me is 10,000 defamatory videos on YouTube about how I'm a horrible person, right? So, do those other content creators have that? Do they? No. So no, I'm not the same as everyone else. It's a miracle, a literal miracle, that I'm able to actually maintain a successful business because enough people give me the time of day and look through the waves of bullshit on YouTube to check out my content. No one is finding me playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth anywhere on YouTube. If you search, you won't find it. Why? Because all you see is defamatory shit about me. So when you compare me to other YouTubers, that's not fair. They're not me. They're not in my unique situation of being hated for bullshit reasons and then having to deal with that. So stop making unfair comparisons. I don't get it. Another YouTuber, is getting way more views than you on the playthrough. Yes, genius, because I'm not the same as every other YouTuber. I'm a super unique case, if you can't tell, right?
He's a super unique case, guys. He's not like the other girls, and he can't be found by a new audience because we're all defaming him. But to be honest, dude, we have seen people comment as they discover you for the first time through yourself and are turned off immediately by the begging, the insulting of the audience, the chewing of water, all the weird tics you have, and your god-awful takes on just about everything.
So the reason that I'm bringing this up today is because some controversy has happened. You may not have heard this. It just happened within like the last 12 to 15 hours. So the CEO of Moon Game Studios, that's the name of it. This is the studio that made Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and currently is working on a new game called The Rest of the Wicked, I think it's called. Oh, No Rest for the Wicked. Okay, and that one's not out yet. So his name is Thomas Mahler. He is the CEO of Moon Game Studio. And so people were talking with him, I guess, on X.
There we go. We got confirmation that he only uses X for his gaming news. And this is an abysmal place to go. And I swear to God, if that's the only place you go to get your gaming news, you might as well be illiterate.
About, what's going on with his current projects and stuff like that. And basically they were like, what are ways that we can support you right now? Because we know you're working on a new game, but we're curious, how can we support you in the meantime? And he basically says, you could go on Steam and you can buy the Ori games here. And someone outright said to him, well, what about getting them on Game Pass because they're currently on Game Pass on Xbox? And he responded, oh, well, no, please buy them on Steam because we don't actually benefit from when you get our games on Game Pass.
Really glad you made that face, DSP, because that face encapsulates just how stupid this entire segment is. What he is misquoting here is a tweet from someone called Warlow that says, "I thought Game Pass was good for developers." And to which Thomas Mahler replied, "It can be. If you're a smaller dev and get an upfront fee to put your game on Game Pass and it blows up, that's great. I merely pointed out that Moon would make no money at this point from people playing Ori on Game Pass, so it's not the best way to support us." Which makes perfect sense, because I'm going to post up an article here from GameSpot where they talked to Phil Spencer regarding this exact situation. And to quote Spencer when he came to how Game Pass games are paid for, he says, "Our deals, I'll say, are all over the place. That sounds unmanaged, but it's really based on developer needs." Spencer explained, "One of the things that's been cool to see is a developer, usually a smaller or mid-sized developer, might be starting a game and say, hey, we're willing to put this game on Game Pass for our launch day if you guys give us X dollars now." Thomas Mahler, in that same tweet thread that he's talking about, essentially confirms that he took a lump sum for the game to be on Game Pass for life. And then in this 2022 article where they talk to Phil Spencer, confirms that that is part of the deals that they make with developers. So this whole conspiracy theory, quote unquote, that Phil is talking about is non-existent, which just goes to show how ignorant DSP is of the gaming industry and why nobody should ever listen to anything he has to say regarding it in any capacity. And it is incredibly frustrating to see someone so willfully ignorant pretend to know things about something that people care about. I genuinely get annoyed when he does this.
What? Like, he outright said that. His tweet says, yeah, we don't get any benefit from when you get it that way. Please buy it on Steam. Okay? And when the CEO of a game development company says that publicly, everyone says, what? Because think of it this way. If they're not benefiting at all, why are their games on Game Pass? So maybe they have initially got paid for those games to be on there. But that money dried up 2-3 years ago, right? They already spent it. And now they're developing this new game, No Rest for the Wicked, and basically they were hoping to have more residual money coming in, but they're under the impression that the people who are playing their games are just getting them on Game Pass, and therefore they're getting no money for it. So they're struggling right now to develop their new game because they don't have enough capital to do it, because they're just not getting any residual sales, right? Maybe that's what it is.
To me, it sounds like he's essentially equating this to the Argentinian problem he's facing. Oh, people are just getting it for free, they're not paying us. But no, that is not the case, as I have just shown. What is the case is that Mahler never actually asked for support. He posted a teaser about this upcoming game, and people asked how they could support the project. He never went out of his way to beg, Phil. I would stop projecting.
DSP, the quality of all your gameplay sucks. DSP, the quality of your gameplay sucks. DSP, your gameplay sucks. DSP, your gameplay sucks. Your gameplay still sucks, change it. DSP, your thumbnails suck. DSP, your titling sucks. Alright, let's continue. DSP, your streams suck. I can keep going.
I'm adding this in because Expand Dong is a detractor who is very good at baiting Phil into rants, and this was one of the better ones because the self-awareness, it's almost there. He's on the teetering edge, but then his brain seems to shut down, and then he finds some kind of excuse. Amazingly, we reach back to Tears of the Kingdom for this one.
Darziak, I'm aware of that. I don't really see how that's big news, though. So there was some company called Yuzu who made an emulator for, like, the Switch, which obviously is completely illegal. And Nintendo finally came after them and sued them and won. And they won $2.4 million, and now the company's shutting down. And I'm like...
Another gaming style section here. I added this because he says emulation is illegal, which is news because it's not illegal. You can look it up. It is not an illegal practice. What is illegal is sharing of burnt ROMs of copyrighted materials, which is not the same thing.
So just to clarify, no, obviously, we don't legitimately have the amount of viewers that it says we have on the stream. The trolls are purchasing view bots, apparently.
Now we get back to the front lines of the Snort Fort. The Argentinians have moved on from shelling him with memberships and have marched straight into his chat en masse. By which I mean DSP has been getting botted to the thousands to the tens of thousands, which doesn't actually serve any purpose through the research that I've done on this, which makes me wonder why he even bothered addressing it since it actually doesn't do anything and he's as aware as we are about that.
And trying to throw him at my stream They stupidly think it's going to negatively affect the stream. It's not. Number one, view bots don't actually count for views on a stream. And number two, they don't count for ad revenue on a stream. I looked into it last night, and it didn't, like, they tried to do this last night on my Heavy Rain stream. It doesn't affect the stream at all. Basically, it inflates view count, but that's it. It doesn't do other stuff. So their thing is, oh, let's give Phil all these views that, you know, it's going to make him look like, you know, bigger than he is, and that'll get him in trouble. It's not going to get me in trouble because I first of all, I'm not doing it, and it doesn't affect the streams in the way that they think it does. They're literally so stupid. They're actually spending their money to buy view bots, and it doesn't do anything negative to my stream at all. I'm not involved in it. I do not like that. I don't want that on my stream. I actually condemn it. I never, in my entire run, 16 years on YouTube, have cared about things like subs and views.
So Mr. Views doesn't care about views, as he's been trying to tell us for years now. But I want you to keep this segment in mind because it comes up later this week, actually, when he's playing Tekken and has some complaints about it.
I don't boost those, okay? So, FYI, it's nonsense. Ignore it. The number literally means nothing. The views don't count for the stream. It's not like the stream will have overinflated views. The video won't have overinflated views after the fact, and it doesn't give you any kind of extra revenue or anything, so nothing can be done against my channel negatively. It's literally them wasting time because they're complete morons and they have no idea what they're actually doing. Some idiot is actually paying, probably, I would think, for view bots that don't actually affect anything. They're that stupid, okay?
So this is the begin of the Argentinian bot segment. We don't know who's doing it. I don't believe DSP would do it, and I don't know if one of his dents would, albeit they are stupid enough. But I'm going to keep an eye on this, as it seems to be shaping up to be its own little sub-arc, as the writers seem to be on hiatus right now, leaving me with nothing good to cover. The Argentinian bots. We'll see what they do.
I got the paper.
So yeah, that was boring as hell, and that was the day stream. Now we're moving on to the night stream. Aside from the bots, there was nothing to report before he decided to get into Clum and EDP, which in turn, during the process of the conversation, ended up with him saying something very stupid.
Just to give you another piece of perspective, can you imagine right now, if while all this is going on and I'm so busy with everything, can you imagine if I had gone through with the documentary that I was talking about doing a couple months ago? I was supposed to start filming like right about now.
So a month, maybe 2 months ago, he had talked about how he canceled this documentary with Mr. Clum while they were getting ready to start the planning, basically right before it. So already wasting the man's time, and then dancing on the grave of this perceived opportunity.
So can you imagine me being in the middle of all these games that I'm already backlogged on, right? Working on these projects, the throwback channel, and now telling you guys, oh, by the way, now I can't stream. This week, you know, it's going to be a half week, entire days away, and stuff like that. You know. So, I mean, I think, quite honestly, I dodged a big bullet there. And what I mean by that is not to say that working with a documentary with Mike Clum is a bullet, but I don't think that, honestly, with the situation I'm in my life, right, that I would have been able to handle that at all. It would have been overload. And again, as I've already reiterated previously, imagine if I was trying to do that. Now, the thing is, this is very important. You know, a documentary about me would have had to be done well. And basically, imagine if I'm just like at my wit's end, stressed out, overworked, and now it's going to end up not being that good, right? Because, you know, it's just as much Mike Clum working on a documentary as it is me. You know, I would be a major part of the input of this thing. Now, how am I going to be creative? How am I going to be entertaining? How am I going to be going around different filming locations and doing all this kind of stuff when I'm already exhausted to my wit's end, right?
Now, I know you don't need me to tell you how stupid this whole thing is. Being exhausted to your wit's end from sitting on your ass playing video games. It might have something to do with the fact that he's up until 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning getting wasted off his ass tweeting at random motherfuckers online. But to make this the reason is very odd, given the fact that the original reason he gave us was that his fans didn't want him to do it because of the Sidescrollers podcast, which amazingly he will go on to bring up. So he's just throwing every excuse at the wall again, just like he did before, seeing what sticks. And I don't know why he feels the need to do so.
Honestly, I do think that I dodged a bullet there. And then on top of that, people are saying, I guess, that Mike Klum is now working on a documentary with this guy EDP. Now, here's the thing. I know absolutely nothing about this guy. I've never followed him. I never watched his content. All I know is that he's infamously known on the internet that apparently he was caught out trying to meet with underage girls, I think.
So let's begin by saying that this is a pattern of behavior that DSP has, where he will pretend not to know something or someone for whatever reason. I'm not going to try and establish a motive for it. In my personal opinion, it's just because he's too limp-wristed to make a hardline stance on anything. Albeit, dunking on a known PDF file should be a slam dunk for him, but he is known to pass up these layups more often than not.
That's what it is, right? I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I think that that's the case, that like he was a YouTuber who was popular, and then at some point he got framed, essentially. Like people were catfishing him so that he would show up to meet underage girls, and then come to find out it was just a frame job. Like they totally set him up to expose him on the internet for who he really was. But apparently some people say, well, why did he not go to jail? And apparently it's because the way that he was set up, it's not admissible as evidence in court.
So to give DSP credit where it's due, this is a prevailing issue on multiple platforms. Pedo hunters, as they call themselves, carelessly acquire information regarding these PDF files and then in ways interfere with their own investigation so that the information that they give to the police cannot actually be admissible in court. This is exactly what happened with the EDP case. The guy who acquired the information on him was careless and haplessly just flubbed the entire investigation. Kind of the similar situation with this Mama Max guy to an extent. So it's something that really should just stop. If you're gonna do it with the authorities. Make sure your shit's in line.
Right? Like technically, because they set him up like that, no crime was ever committed, so he never was held accountable for that behavior. But apparently he got totally canceled on the internet. He fell apart. He went from being a YouTuber who had a prominent channel and everything to basically like, done. And hey, again, that's all I know from what I've heard, word of mouth. I've never watched a documentary. I haven't done research for myself. That's all I know, okay? And can I be honest here? Because I will be honest with all of you, because people have been asking me about this for the past couple of days, okay?
So I'm gonna say I don't believe DSP is doing what other detractors have claimed he's doing. He is not defending EDP. He is not making excuses for him. He's not saying he was framed or set up and he wasn't doing what he was doing. I think he's talking like a stupid person because that's what he does. He doesn't know how to phrase things, and he also doesn't know what subjects not to even touch, which this would be one of them. Being DSP and having a history of being accused of grooming your ex-girlfriend and having a resident sex pest living in your chat room who also has a history of suspect behavior towards underage girls, this is a terrible look, and it will continue to be a terrible look. So you shouldn't talk about these topics, especially when they're so real and you approach them so ignorantly. What I'm going to post on screen now is a series of messages from his resident sex pest and some historical pictures from his playlist before they were privated, because they kind of illuminate what I'm talking about here and why DSP should never talk about these topics. I'm also going to add some photos of an article and a YouTube channel that belonged to a registered PDF file who had gone on to Phil's Lost Judgment streams and donated well over $300 to him. This isn't indicative of anything, it's just making sure I've got everything.
By the way, I'm just going to start banning people now who refuse to listen to me. All right, I'm going to say it one time. Stop talking about troll activities. I'm done with it. I don't want anyone talking about it and mentioning it. You're an idiot if you do, because you're giving them the attention they want. If you don't shut the fuck up about trolling, you're part of the problem.
That's right, we're hearing from the leader of the Snort Fort Philippos about the Argentinian bots coming to invade his chat again. And he is not having it. He found some enemies behind the lines that he thought were allies, and he's got to let them know. they're part of the problem. And if they don't shape up, their insubordination will not go unpunished. But yeah, here we go. We've got another segment about the bots that apparently don't do anything, don't affect anything, but apparently just seeing them discussed in the chat has sent this guy into a frenzy. So I'm really excited. We're getting day-to-day updates. This is going to be an exciting bit of lore for me just because I've been so bored with what he's been doing recently. So yeah, let's just have fun with this.
So if I see anyone bringing up the trolling, you are going to be banned like everybody else. I've already talked about it 3 days in a row now, and people still won't stop. Like, you can't control yourself. Like, you're like a 5-year-old with an impulse. I can't stop talking about this thing going on over here. Fuck that thing going on over there. It's an idiot with his pants down trying to moon you in the middle of the street, and you keep talking about him. Fuck that idiot. Let that guy dance in the street with his pants down. No one cares. All right? Stop with this nonsense, because I'm trying to maintain a fucking semblance of normalcy. Trolls will be trolls. There's nothing you can do about it. Shut up about it. When you talk about it, you give them exactly what they want. Okay? Let the guy flagellate himself in the middle of the street.
Hey Siri, define flagellate for me.
It means flog someone either as a religious discipline or for sexual gratification.
I don't know what the fuck he meant by that, but ha, Atlas, I stole your bit.
Okay, so next week will be a balance. Okay, we'll back and forth day streams between Final Fantasy and Baldur's Gate, night streams Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon, and the Re-act day on Sunday. Likely next Monday, I will have to take Monday night off.
And as we know, he's going to be taking Monday off to do taxes again. That's right. We're getting into the full swing of the tax arc. He mentioned it 2 days in a row, and I'm getting really excited to see where it goes from here.
And happy 40th birthday to Philip in Britain. Hope today is a positive day full of video games and championship wrestling. Love Kat, Son, Jasper, Howard, John, Rich, Jordan, and everyone down at the farms.
I'm sure he's watching WrestleMania this week.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our boy is having his big birthday bash coming up in 1 month. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now, it's a week of fun. It's a week of the guy making a fool of himself. There was 1 year where he had those little blow whistle things. He's worn stupid hats. His wife likes to make him food. It's a whole shebang, and he does it for a whole week. I am as excited as Phil is that he is just becoming ancient. 41 going on 60.
Okay. Also, in about 1 month's time now, will be my birthday bash for 2024. My birthday is the first week of April, and traditionally I always hold some kind of a silly marathon around then. Yes, this year will be no exception. Probably what we'll do is a day-long marathon where maybe I'll decorate a little bit behind me for my birthday. We'll do some fun stuff that day. Probably my wife will make a cake, and I'll have a piece of the cake on the stream. Perhaps we'll order some food that day. What we'll be doing that day is up to you. Could we do some retro react content? Sure we could. Maybe react to some older stuff. Maybe wrap up a playthrough or start another one. Could we do some gameplay? Sure we could. You want to see some Tekken? You want to see some other random stuff online or whatever? Why not, right? There's all these different things we can do. But we'll talk about that over the course of the month. Let's probably wait another week and then probably significantly start planning it so that we know what to do. I'll tell you one thing I absolutely want to do. I want to sit down with you guys and I want to figure out the gaming schedule for the rest of the year, because now we've had all these events that have been going on and we have all these updates to all game release dates, right? We haven't done one since Christmas. So right now I'm way behind on everything that we're doing, and I don't really know even what's coming out. So I need to sit down with you guys and go through a schedule again, and let's figure out all the games coming out so we have the landscape set and we know what to expect, okay? So that definitely could be something we do during that event. I think that would be pretty fun, okay?
So the big takeaway from this is that instead of going out and doing things with his wife, maybe taking a couple days off to do something to celebrate his birthday, he wants to drag his investors into his chat and sit down with them and be like, all right, guys, these are the release windows for the year. I need you guys to tell me what you want to see, because basically that's your buy-in. That's saying you're going to give me money. That is the craziest thing to me. But yeah, this is just going to be fun. I hope you guys are ready for good times. I'm getting that vibe back.
SD Chargers, who did a super chat. He says, once you get hit with the pedo label online, it is over for you. Yeah, I can imagine. And here's the thing. All the years that I've been a content creator, right? 16 now and climbing. You can crap on me all you want. You really can. You can completely crap on me and say, my content sucks. I was so irreverent and immature back in the day, and all the bullshit that conspiracy people make up about me today that's not true. But thankfully, right, I never, ever got involved with anything awful when you really think about it on paper, what a lot of other people have done versus the things that people say about me. My stuff's petty, dumb shit that they just compile and laugh at, right? While, can you imagine? I mean, yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, shit. You get that, murder, or like a lot of the people have been saying, like serious accusations of like huge misconduct of people of of various relationships, right? Like for example, Toby Turner, right? He was so prominent on YouTube and such a popular YouTuber, and then he started getting hit with accusations that his rampant drug abuse and basically abuse of women, and then that was it. Like, he got completely canceled, and now who the hell talks about Toby Turner anymore, right? So that's what I mean. Like, there are certain things, that's one of them. You know, there's a couple of things that you get accused of that, and if there's enough evidence, that's that. That's the end of that, right? So, but that's the thing, like, the stuff that people talk about with me is so stupid, right? It's so dumb, the shit that people bring up. Most of it is completely fake. Some of it is based on a tiny little thing that once was true that's not true anymore, but they just consistently keep lying to it over and over. You know what I'm saying?
In this, DSP is mostly correct, because he is what I have been calling a comfort cow, because you can usually go back to him and expect the same thing. He's mostly known for playing games badly, scamming his audience, and begging for money. But like most people, he has skeletons in his closet. There have been pretty extreme scams. There's also the allegation that he groomed Panda, which he says he had debunked, and actually hasn't. If you go back and watch that debunk stream, he just says, nope, didn't happen. That's not a debunk, Phil. But I digress. And let's just look at this guy posting a comment and getting leaned.
It's just dumb, the shit that people say that makes absolutely no sense. Like for example, this guy who I'm literally banning right now, he's 100% factually untrue, and there will never be any facts to back up what they're saying because it's a lie. You have no evidence of anything you're saying because you literally made it up because you're an idiot, right? Oh, by the way, guess what? It's Final Fantasy VII Day. Guess what that means? If we hit the tips goal of $100, I put on the cloud wig for only the second time ever. So if you want to see me look absolutely ridiculous live in this clown wig today, please consider tipping to support the stream. Okay. Almost forgot about that. I wasn't even thinking about it.
Oh, we got the wig jangle? Shit, I thought those were over. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to give you another Dent Vision segment. I know how much you loved the last one, but I need more jangles to put them together. So we're just going to end off Tuesday with DSP complaining about copyright claims on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, just because that's a little bit fresh. Nobody saw that coming, especially not the guy who knows all there is to know about copyright law. But here we are, and I have a feeling this will come up in future begs.
Andy Young, yes, just like every single game that I play, sometimes there's music copyright issues. And it depends. Sometimes I dispute them, sometimes I don't. In this case, I believe the first few videos of this playthrough did get claimed for music, and I tried to dispute them, and they're all in what's called escrow. What that means is basically YouTube just sits on it, and they see if whoever claimed the music wants to go to court about it. Because the thing is, it's a misidentification. When these videos get flagged, it's not because you're using the music, it's because it thinks you're using a cover song of the music. And like you're playing a guitar doing a cover of it. You're not. If you have purchased the license to play the game, and you're creating your own Let's Play or playthrough or whatever, and as long as you're doing the transformative things, like your own gameplay, your own commentary, that's a transformative work. The person who made the music was already paid for their use of the song in this game in perpetuity. They're not supposed to be getting excessive royalties on the back end for every single person who plays the game. So there's no legal right there for them to claim it at all. It's never been in a court of law where that's ever been a ruling, okay? So when YouTube is running Content ID and says, oh, Part 5 of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is claimed for music because you're using a cover song. No, I'm not. I'm using the original soundtrack. It's covered by gameplay. The gameplay clause of fair use. Therefore, too bad. I got the paper.
Now we're into Wednesday, halfway through the week, hump day. The guy's getting excited, we're getting excited, and he is ecstatic about how well he's been doing in Tekken. Although, I don't know if I believe him, given how he behaves when he plays Tekken, but let's hear him tell us about it.
And I'm happy that I've done as good as I am. Now, it's hilarious because as soon as I hit purple rank last night, in came the negative comments from idiots. You only do this mashing bullshit, and you do this, and that's how you win. It's like, ha ha ha. That, you want to know the truth? That makes me feel good. Because if these idiots are so upset that I hit that rank, that means that it actually is notable that I hit the rank, correct? Because if it didn't really matter, then no one would care or say a word. But the fact that the moment I hit purple, people ran in to leave comments of how nasty, you know, how stupid I am, how I suck, that's fucking hilarious. Because it means that they're pissy about it. They cannot take the fact that last year I told you all I'm going to commit myself to Street Fighter and I'm going to get good at it. And then I got multiple characters into Master Rank. They're so pissy about that happened. And by the way, a positive win-loss record on every one of those characters. I wasn't one of the people who grinded for 7 months to get one character to Master and had like a 20% win-loss ratio. Every one of those characters had a positive win-loss ratio in Master, right? And the same thing now with Tekken. I have won way more than I have lost because actually it was Even the Great has been keeping stats. And if you take a look at my statistics with Yoshimitsu particularly, I think I only had, out of all the nights I've played, 2 nights were losing nights, meaning I lost more than I won. But every other night I have won way more than I've lost. Like last night, and we're talking high level red and then these purple matches that I was having, I won 66% of the time.
I don't know any detractors out there that do this. I assume they exist, so I'm just going to go with what he says here. But in reality, it's not about how you play the game. It's never about how you play the game, really. It's about how you behave while you play it. You could be the best player or the worst player in the world, and so long as you're a good sport, treat people with respect, and have some modicum of self-control. I know I get heated when playing fighting games, but I never insult the person directly. And I know it can get really heated. Here's looking at you, Carnifex 666, you nightmare mainin ass bitch. But that's not what this is about. It's about your behavior, and you should learn from that.
But anyway, thank you for being along for this journey. Again, in my 40s, about to hit 42 years of age in a month, actually. Wow, 1 month from today is actually my 42nd birthday. I didn't even realize that. And
so after the little cope segment about Tekken, we had a little bit of an alternation into the segment about his birthday. And the reason I want to point this out again is 1, I'm excited, and 2, that marks the 5 years ending of the 10-year plan.
The next big thing is in exactly 1 month. On my birthday, April 6th, it will be DSP's birthday bash celebration here on DSP Gaming. What are we going to be doing? Well, one thing we'll definitely be doing is doing the game schedule update, going through the calendar for the rest of the year now that all these games release dates will now be out, and I want to talk about them. I want to, actually flesh them out and say, hey, here's what we're interested in so people have a better idea of what I'm going to be doing, okay? But in addition to that, we're also going to have a big celebration for my birthday. My wife's probably going to make me a cake. We'll have that. Probably order some food, so have a meal together. Now, what else we do is up to you. Maybe you'd like to see me do more retro react stuff that day. We can react to like more, I don't know. We'll probably be done with Heavy Rain by then, I'm thinking. But maybe we could do a different game. That would be fine. Or maybe you would like to have me play some games. Maybe some multiplayer, right? Maybe some Battlefront. Maybe some Tekken. I don't know. We can figure it out. Let's talk about it over the next month. And let's figure out exactly what you want to see on that day. Okay? Let's talk it out. Let's figure it out and go from there. Yes, people are saying, will Kat be on the stream? I don't know. That's up to her. But if you guys wanted to have her on stream, maybe just have her sit down, do some Q&A for a little bit, just talk, so you can see how she's been doing. Maybe we'll do that. That's something interesting, So we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out and go from there.
So again, we get another birthday segment trying to get his audience to plan his birthday for him, essentially. But he definitely knows what he wants, and for his birthday, he wants to write a schedule about every release coming out in the year. and it's gonna be a schedule segment, that's for sure. They also discuss what he could do, possibly wheeling Kat out in order to get her to do some Q&A, which I don't know if you guys have seen the other ones, but yeah, you can expect more of the same. Or he'll play some Tekken 8, which, spoiler alert, no, it's in Ban World. Phil then goes on to talk about another death this week, not the DBZ creator, but Rooster Teeth. And I don't have a whole lot for this. I was a Rooster Teeth fan back when they did the first couple seasons of Red vs. Blue, but after that I kind of fell off. So I don't know what transpired there, but the guy is just going to talk about it. He doesn't really make it about him. He doesn't really tap dance on their graves, but it's a piece of news that happened this week, and the guy did discuss it.
It is official. Rooster Teeth, a once ginormous pop culture and gaming dynamo of a company, is officially closed. It was announced this morning, Warner Discovery, who actually owns Rooster Teeth, is ending Rooster Teeth. Done. So all ongoing projects under its umbrella are now canceled. The only exception, I guess they had already started creating like a spin-off segment for podcasts. So they're saying that like podcasts that were under its umbrella are likely to continue. But outside of that, all other content that Rooster Teeth makes is now done. Okay? Now, you may not even know what Rooster Teeth is. You know, back in the day, they came to prominence around the time of Halo, like Halo 2 and Halo 3, for Red vs. Blue, an online series I'll argue, it was ahead of its time, right? To take the game of Halo and to be able to create situations where you could control the characters and make them act out as if they're on a sitcom, right? How did you do that? I mean, no one was doing anything like that back then. It totally was revolutionary. I mean, this was before YouTube. So they were uploading episodes of this show to their own servers and bringing people to them through their own website so people could watch this web series, right? And basically, this show got so popular that they started being able to make money and monetize and things like that around the era of YouTube. And then they branched out and did all kinds of content on the internet. You know, comedy-style skits, news-style shows, podcasting. I would argue probably the other big thing from them was that cartoonish anime series, RWBY. Now, I've never seen it, so I don't know anything about it, but I heard it was very, very popular at the height of its popularity, and people were, like, crazy for it, and people were, you know, one of those things you go to a convention, oh, they're selling merch of it, they're talking about it, people are cosplaying as it and shit like that, right? So basically, I guess that was, like, super popular at one time. But the crazy thing about the end of Rooster Teeth is that at one point, they were so huge, they were, like, the big gaming media company, and they were buying up other gaming media to become part of their company. Like, one of the things, infamously, one of the things that happened with ScrewAttack.com back in the day is that ScrewAttack allowed themselves to be bought by Rooster Teeth, and then Rooster Teeth decided, we're just going to close all of it except for Death Battles. Death Battles was a show where they would pit, for example, Superman versus Goku, right? Who would win, right? And this was one of the more popular things ScrewAttack did, so ScrewAttack sold out, and then literally had their entire company closed because Rooster Teeth didn't think there was any value to it. Funny. Anyway.
Alright, I take back what I just said. There's a little bit of smug assholery in there. But in the end, yeah, Rooster Teeth is dead. The guy's still a dick. And we're going to move on.
How do I feel about the revival of X-Men 97? You know, I don't know. I mean, obviously, X-Men cartoon was one of the things that I really liked in the 90s when I was a teenager or a young adult, before I was an adult. I don't know if I care about it in 2024. I feel like a lot of these nostalgic things they bring back, people are just so into nostalgia. And for me, when they just did Ninja Turtles again, right? What was it, Mutant Mayhem? And people were like, oh, are you going to watch the new Ninja Turtles movie? No. I'm not going to watch the 17th new iteration of the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles were from when I was a kid. I don't fucking care about the Ninja Turtles anymore. I grew up. I'm 40-some years old. I don't care about... I also don't watch Transformers. I don't watch G.I. Joe. I don't play with He-Man action figures. You know, I grew out of it.
This is something I took grievance with because guys out here making it sound as though if you're into nostalgic things like the X-Men, He-Man, or all the other examples he used, you are childish in a way. This just screams to me that he's a fair weather fan at the best of times, where a lot of us grew up with these things. They were part of our childhood. They established relationships that we carried on into adulthood. It's more than just the product, it's the memories attached to the product. So we like being able to relive those memories through a different lens as an adult. It's cathartic to have that feeling of connection with something from so long ago. I personally grew up reading the comics with my mom. She was the one that gave me my first Spider-Man comic out of her own collection, and that is actually how I ended up learning how to read, the same way he says that's how he learned how to read. Which makes this ever so much more frustrating, because you don't just outgrow these things. They're ostensibly what made you who you are. They're a part of your childhood. They're a part of the person you've become. And those memories that are attached to them are precious, and they're easy to forget as we age. Things move so fast in the real world that these are easily lost. The fact that he just decides to move on from the things he said he loved as a child and the things he had fond memories of like this just seems sad to me.
It seems like a lot of people never fucking grow out of anything. They just want the thing over and over. So was I a fan of the X-Men when I was growing up? Yes, I owned the comic books. I owned the action figures. I watched the show every single Saturday morning when it came out on Fox. And then the show ended. And I was like, okay, it's time to move on. And now they're like, whoa, in 2024, we're bringing back X-Men 97. And I got to ask the question, why?
Well, the simple answer is, Phil, that it's about money. Always has been in every industry. You should know this more than anybody. But another answer is, this is for kids who don't know about the X-Men, haven't seen them, or kids that have heard about them and seen them through comics that their parents enjoy, and then they get to see them reiterated for them. I know you wish it was about you and that Wolverine figurine your parents didn't get you, but it's not. It's about other people, and it's about money. So moving on from the comic book form of literature, he decided to go into books because someone asked him if he'd write one. Pretty simple part. I put it in here because I don't know if we've ever heard the fact that DSP might actually be interested in writing a book about himself.
Would I ever consider writing a book, fiction or nonfiction? Maybe. Or maybe, that will be the way that I tell my story later on. Maybe it won't be a freaking documentary on the internet, but it would be a book. I don't know. I don't know why anyone would want to see a book written about me or that I wrote, but who knows?
So, to finish up Wednesday, we're just going to get into the mini PC segment a little bit. Essentially, what's going on here is we get a little insight into the mind of the guy who has a mini PC for PC gaming that he had begged for multiple months and then never used. And as to why, which, of course, it being the guy, is everything but his own fault or his own decision making. It's just a circumstance, dude.
Says, I have the mini PC. Would Knights of the Old Republic 2 be on the table in the future? Maybe. Here's the thing. I really feel like... all right. Time to be... Okay. DSP becomes honest. All right. You ready for this? All these years, you guys told me, man, I'm really missing out because I don't have a gaming PC, right? Like, man, you miss so much stuff. You don't play it. You're only a console gamer, and you've limited yourself so much because of that. So I got this PC... It is a mini PC, but I got this PC end of last summer. It was donated by a fan. Thank you so much to that fan for that. And what have we done with it since then? We played Chrono Trigger. Like, that's fucking it. And I take it back. We played the paranormal game around Christmas time. I forget if you remember what it was called. Like, that's it. And I have it, and it's available, and we could do stuff. There's no demand. Literally no one says, hey, Phil, now that you got that mini PC, you absolutely should be doing this, this, and this that you missed out on.
This is just an out-and-out lie. He has gotten game recommendations to play on the PC, and he has refuted all of them because he's the guy, and he doesn't take recommendations. So, yeah, this is just bullshit.
It's like, meh, you have it, big deal. The big games are on console, play those. Literally, that's what I've been told. So it's like, all these years that everyone yelled at me, right, that I didn't ever have a PC, so I can't really play these games. Again, like, I got the PC now. It literally sits there collecting dust. The one thing we were gonna do with Fightcade, it made more sense to hold off because Tekken was right around the corner. It didn't make sense to set that up, get it working, and then play Tekken and not use it. So, I tell you that, 100%, Fightcade will be coming at some point this year. When things die down with fighting games, I want to play old school fighters on Fightcade, okay? But outside of that,
I doubt we'll ever get the Fightcade arc. I know a lot of people are hoping for it because that's where the real players play and DSP can't hang. But to be honest with you, this is all his fault. All these complaints he's making about the mini PC, these are all decisions he's made for himself, for his content, and it's asinine.
That's the only thing that I could think of. Like, what else would I even do on there? It's funny because people say things like Pizza Tower and stuff, right? But is there really that much demand for it? Obviously not. No one's really asking for it. It's like a few people here and there. So it's just weird to me that all these years, again, it sounds to me like the vocal minority, right? People were very adamant and vocal. You need a PC, you need a PC. So now I get a means to play PC games, and no one's really caring, you know?
Quick 3 points. 1. You established an audience who doesn't care about PC games because you're a hardcore console gamer and you always get involved in console fanboyism. Point 2, you do nothing but dunk on PC gaming. You complain about squinting at screens and blah blah blah. I don't think you exactly have a PC gaming audience, so there aren't going to be a whole lot of people asking you to do so. Point 3, you barely talk about the thing, which is why it's news, and also half your audience probably doesn't even know it exists.
Average YouTube enjoyer says you wouldn't be able to play something on the PC now even if you wanted to. You have too many games you're involved in. But the point I'm making is I've had that mini PC since the fall. You understand? Or not even. Since late summer. And there really has been no demand. That's the point. The point is everyone said you need the PC. I got the PC and it just sits there. Everything that I can play or people want me to play is on console. So and this is the point I made for so many years. Is that there are some games that are limited to PC. Usually it's the indie games, the games that go viral, or the games that, you know, are the meme games for like a few weeks and then they disappear. The rare case where that wasn't the case was Pal World because that was on Game Pass. That was a rare situation, right? But outside of that, that's the kind of games that are the big PC stuff today. Everything else ends up being cross-platform. Very rarely do you get a game that's only PC-centric, but also monstrously in demand and people want to see me play. Very rare. So
he's incredibly wrong. And if you game on PC, you know. If you know, you know, because you know. Essentially, the TLDR is DSP says something ignorant about a situation he should know more about before discussing and makes a fool of himself. Pretty much an average day in the Snortex.
I got the paper.
You want to know how easy it is to gaslight DSP? Just mention money. Some kind of revenue source he can tap into. He will get hype. He will bite immediately. He will go all in. Piggy gets wild when green is on the table.
Dab and Dangle is saying if you have a YouTube Plus subscription or YouTube Premium subscription, they're now allowing you to get a free sub to a channel. Is that true? Apparently, if you have a YouTube Premium subscription, you now get a free membership, which is exactly the same as what they do on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. Did they is that that's awesome if that's the case? I got to start telling everyone about that. Because that's a huge thing people have wanted for many, many, many years. And YouTube Premium is great. So that's like a 2-for-1 deal.
So this is not true. What you can get with the YouTube Premium membership is 1 free month of membership to a channel, as far as I understand. But you do not just get an automatic free membership. But you can see how this guy lit up when he heard that, and he will continue to question it for a while.
It's not in effect yet, says Lucky Gremlin. Then how did he just do it? It's not in effect, how did he just do it?
How do you like
Yeah, Davin Angle says he just did it. And that's funny because they didn't even announce that or anything.
Clearly, because you and I have more than 2 brain cells to rub together, they didn't announce it because it's not a thing. But this is also the only thing I could find of value to report on for the day stream of Wednesday, so let's just hope it gets better from here. So I had almost completely forgotten that he ended up taking the night stream off for whatever reason. So let's see, what was the guy up to? Oh yeah, that's right.
Phil's day off.
100% true.
My 1 day off a week that I get to spend with my wife is literally 60-70% fucking work related.
So it's Friday, and unfortunately a living legend in many industries had passed away during the time between his last stream and today. And as you know, DSP will never let one of those slip by without milking it for cash, so we got a little segment about it. Fortunately for us at least, he didn't tap dance on the man's grave or make it about himself, for once, shockingly. But credit where credit's due, right?
But you know, I feel like we should just start the show with the big elephant in the room, the thing that literally everyone across the world is talking about today. ladies and gentlemen, is very sad news. We have lost one of the most iconic pop culture artists and creators of our time. The man behind the character designs, artwork, and a lot of other input into series such as the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, which many people don't even realize it's the same show. It just, there's a time lapse between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but it's literally the same show continuing on, the same manga turned into an anime. Dragon Quest, the entire video game series. Chrono Trigger. Sandland. And that's just to name a few of the projects that this man has been directly involved in creating. I'm talking about Akira Toriyama has passed away at the age of 68, unexpectedly. People did not know that Mr. Toriyama was actually ill. Apparently, he was kind of keeping it a secret, and he was actively involved in developing many projects. And now that he's gone, a lot of people don't know what's going to happen with those projects because he was spearheading them. This is incredibly sad, but what I'd like to do, rather than focusing on the loss, I want to celebrate the life and the work.
So I don't know about you guys, but I think the guy was pretty excited to have outlived 2 more legends this week. But as we continue on, I want you to remember what I said in the beginning of this video. How he said during the bots segment that views don't matter. Never have. He doesn't care about views. And then think about what he says here.
By the way, we have 200 people watching this game. Isn't that amazing? 200 people watching Final Fantasy VII. I get more people playing every other game right now. I don't know what's going on with this game that I get only 200 viewers. I don't know what to say. It's a fine RPG. I just don't think people care about RPGs anymore. I think people are tired of them. There's too fucking many of the same game. So everyone is just tired of this shit. I don't know what else to say. It's actually my front runner right now for Game of the Year. But it seems like we don't get anyone coming by for it. I don't know.
Now, I'm sure you guys all know the answer to this guy's quandary. The fact that he makes RPGs miserable, his voice acting is abysmal, the fact that he even does it is atrocious. And then he continues to make everything about it obnoxious. He continues to go back to this stupid card game later on in the week that the Dents hated in the first place. And just his general outlook on Japanese culture seems to kind of disintegrate any interest in these games. So this day pretty much wrapped up as a Toriyama segment, to the dismay of many. But then we had the Tekken stream at night, which are usually very boring, but not this one. And I'm gonna let him give a little bit of foreshadowing for it.
I will return tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, for Friday Night Fights. In Tekken 8, it's trying to take Yoshimitsu even further. Currently, he just hit purple. So my goal tonight is to stay in purple and maybe advance a bit. It's going to take probably several streams to level up in purple and even get close to seeing if I can hit blue. I got the paper.
So after all the days of hype and all the days of cope about how good he was at this game, he finally came to Friday Night Fights, raring and ready to go, just to get absolutely shit stomped. He got pushed down so hard he dropped right out of purple into sub-red. And this was the last time we ever saw Tekken.
What the fuck? He spammed again! Come on! He got lucky by spamming. Why does he spam that move and it beats my fucking heat that's supposed to have fucking super armor? You suck! Nothing! Dude, this is ridiculous! Every fucking button he put, jab, 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 jab. Can't stop the jab. Beats every fucking input I do. Every fucking input I press, the jab stuff. Wow, you're a great player. No high-low mix-ups. No, nothing at all. Just jab, 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 jab. I can't win a single fucking match tonight. Every match, these mashers, that's it, she spammed. Oh, I was gonna press heat. Here we go. Oh, he's gonna be heat. No intelligent thought. I give up. I literally can't beat a single person because they all play exactly the same. I found something that's completely safe online that I can just keep doing over and over like a fucking idiot, and it just gets away with it. Just dirt. Mash, she smash punch. Oh, I'm gonna lose. Ooh. That's it, just mash buttons. Literally just mash fucking buttons the whole fucking round. Kick. Oh, kick. Kick, and a kick. Oh, look, a kick, and a kick. I'm playing the fighting game. Kick. You fucking idiot.
Oh my god. What an awful night. Seriously. It's so disheartening. It is so fucking disheartening playing fighting games at a competitive... Anyway. So yeah, that's it sucks because some nights, there are people in here who can help me to teach me like what to do, and sadly there was no one here tonight. So I'm at the highest level of me trying to learn, and I can't learn because no one knows how to help me. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna lose. That's what happened all night. I lost like 30 some times. I only won like 15 times, so I lost twice as much that I won. And it's like, do I really want to keep playing this now? I don't know. Level.
And this is a standard Cope segment here. He's just gonna say, well, there's usually people here to hold my hand, but they're not here, even though I've never seen him take advice during a Tekken stream, ever. So suddenly it's the chat's fault. And yeah, this is the stream where Tekken did go to ban world. So I just really enjoyed the salt. I ended up watching this whole stream. It was hilarious.
I mean, I'm being honest, like, I loved it to this point, and tonight was just, this reminds me of when I hit Master in Street Fighter 6, where all of a sudden, when everyone started hitting Master, it just was not fun anymore. Everyone was doing the same abusable top-tier rushdown shit, and it's just not fun to play. And this is exactly what's happened with this, only this is like 2 months in. At Purple, it's shit. That's not good gameplay at all. People just spamming the same shit over and over. It's not fun. It's trash gameplay. Anyway. Alright. Well, that is it, guys. I don't know. Think about what you want. I'll talk about this, obviously, on the podcast tomorrow. If people want more Tekken, or maybe it's time to think about retiring Tekken because we've got other stuff coming up. In fact, soon we've got Star Wars Battlefront collection, and maybe that could be a late night stream, right? We got other games coming too, so maybe it'll be time. We'll think about it, okay? Alright, guys. Well, thank you. Sorry for the rage. I hope at least you were entertained by my frustration and rage and beating the shit out of my joystick, right? Hopefully you still got something out of it.
I want to give Snork Panella big ups for those scenes, because otherwise digging for him would have been an absolute nightmare. But this is me signing off for the night. I want to say thank you and big ups to everyone who made it this far. I know this video's a lot longer than the last one. This is my attempt at going through and clipping everything myself and watching the pre-streams to find anything that might be worth watching. But tell me what you guys thought of it. I'm always trying to find a better way to streamline this process and make it more digestible for you guys. Big ups to you guys for being here, and have a great week. Don't let the bastards grind you down.